So we haven't been making any videos of anything we've been doing because with the bathroom we got a little discouraged not being able to do that. And so Mike's been working on little things here and there, but we haven't worked on the bus or the bathroom lately. But I thought I'd get together the stuff that we have done. So down here at the creek, we have, or he has, I haven't done any of this at all, been taking the weed eater down. We had this field, we let it grow, and the neighbor down there baled it up for hay. And so once he did that, we are going to keep it mowed the rest of the year. And then Mike's came down here with the weed eater and weed eated all the way down there. So if I can find a video or a clip of what it looked like before, I will put that in here. If not, just imagine it all looked like that, all the way down. Another thing we're really wanting to get rid of is all the locust trees. The thorns are terrible and it sucks when you step on them. We will probably leave them on the other side of the creek, but at least on this side we're going to take them out. So here's one of the trees down here. And I got to pay attention to what I do so I don't step on a thorn. But here's the thorns on these trees. But now we can get to the creek bed really easy. We'd like to get this all cleaned up from years of people dumping stuff in here. When I was a little kid, this tree right here is where I spent the majority of my time. If I was outside at the creek, this is where I was. And as a kid, I remember this being full of water all the time. Since we've been here, it gets full of water when it rains, but it doesn't hold water for very long. These are our fancy chairs that we had. They haven't changed much in the last 20 years. We have cut down some of the dead on this tree. Also, again, for the third year in the row, my garden is not what I want it to be at all. Last year my peppers did really well, but I started them from seed. This year I bought them as plants and they suck. They didn't grow well, and our sprinklers we didn't have set up right, and they have been overwatered. So the last week I've dug up several of those in hopes to see if I can do anything to save them at all. So I've moved the peppers over to this area by the bus and fenced it off. That one's just got some grass in it. But they actually look terrible, but they look better than what they did when I dug them out of the ground. And I'm about to just dump the potatoes. The chickens have destroyed those before we put the fence up. In my mind, when we moved out here, it would take us a year, maybe 2, to get this all cleaned up. But the reality is we have 4 kids total, 2 grown and 2 little ones. And we both work. I work full time. And so we don't get a lot of time to work on these projects that we'd like to get worked on at all. So out here is one area that was completely overgrown, and we did get this back in shape again. So under here, under this tree, was completely overgrown. And we have the chickens here. They love it. And then we set up this tank for the boys to swim in. And then there's this spot over here we've thought about killing the grass. It's a hole that's been washed away. and killing the grass and using it to drain the water from the tank into. Seeing a little frog in the tank that I need to go help. But we're gonna kill this grass and just let the water drain into here. It's a big hole. Little tiny baby tree frog.
I'm trying to get him.
Cute little guy. Another reason we have not really felt like making videos or doing much of anything is we lost one of our dogs. It was my husband's best friend in the whole world. She was the other woman in the relationship, and I accidentally took her out. We didn't remember we had set up the appointment to have her fixed. I knew I did, I just wasn't sure when it was. And they call on the Tuesday night before to remind you of your appointment. And we had completely forgot about it, but decided to go ahead and keep the appointment and have her fixed. So on a Wednesday, she was taken in. I dropped her off that morning, and she didn't want me to leave her. Sorry, I think that I'm over it, and then I talk about her and it hits all over again. I didn't want to leave her, but I left her and she was trying to get to me. But they called when the surgery was over and told us that they had had a complication that they didn't expect. She had thrown up somehow while they were sedating her, and it was coming out of her nose. So they were going to send us home with some antibiotics, and we were supposed to give that to her for 10 days in case she had, gotten some in her lungs or pneumonia set in or whatever. And that I could go pick her up at 4. So I went to go pick her up, and like any dog that's had a spay, she was tired and got in the car, didn't really want to do a whole lot. We came home that night. She came out with us. I think I have a picture of her after we got her home, and I'll put in some of those pictures and some videos of her. She had sat with the boys at the tank. This was her favorite place to be because she loved water. Not really being in the water, but she liked the water squirting at her face so she could attack it. She was trained to help us catch the chickens. We didn't really do that on purpose, but she would help us herd chickens if we needed to catch one for some reason or another. She was a really good dog. So she came home that night, and she seemed fine or, normal for that night. The next morning, I noticed she'd had some diarrhea, or there was a little bit of blood in there, but not anything to worry about considering she had just been spayed. We'd had dogs fixed before. The throwing up and diarrhea was normal because they hadn't ate right, and the anesthesia makes them throw up anyway. So I took her out that morning, let her go potty. She didn't want to get up. After she was outside, she laid down, which was not normal for her, but I figured since she had just been fixed, she was okay. And we got her up, got her in the house. We let her go into the kennel and lay down in the kennel, and I thought she was okay for that day. And then my kid came out with the boys, let him swim for a little while, and he went back in and texted me while I was at work that something didn't seem right. So he sent me a picture of her that I don't want to see that picture of her again. And I told him she needed to go right away. So he started getting the boys ready and was loading up to take her back to the vet to see what was going on. And as he picked her up, she just died. And blood came out everywhere. She was throwing up blood, and she just quit breathing. So he went ahead and loaded her up and took her back to the vet anyway, because he didn't know what else to do. And we would have her cremated anyway, so we'd need to take her in for that. I left work as soon as he sent me the picture and was hoping for some reason that the whole way home that, you know, maybe he made a mistake, maybe she just wasn't breathing very well, but she was gone. So when I say that he lost his best friend, I truly mean this dog was an amazing dog. She was the other woman. She was our only dog that would play fetch and actually bring anything back. She could outrun all the boys. Our son that has special needs, we could leave her with him. If he wandered, we knew that we could find him based on where she was, or she would let us know where he was. None of our other dogs really liked Damon the way that she did. So it is a big loss for our family. We're questioning whether or not what we want to do. We do have her daughter still, but she was not worked with the same way that Michonne was. Michonne was trained. She went to puppy classes and was trained as a puppy. And then she just really was our best dog. So the breeder that we did get her from is actually breeding a litter with the same mom and dad. So we're considering that, but that would be 7 to 9 months. We're partial to the German Shepherds. They're just amazing dogs. They're so smart. There's absolutely nothing that they can't learn to do. I'm convinced that if you really wanted to train them to do anything, they would. So we're about a month in now and doing a little better, but still not great, because it really was just a big loss for us. She was a great help with Damon. She was a great help with the chickens. She was a great help just being around and being a great dog all the way around. So it's been kind of a rough month in that we've been knocked down with the bathroom and losing the dog. So hopefully the goal is to be ready to get back at it and get stuff done again. So to end this, we have gotten a few projects taken care of here. They're nothing real big. And we'll just put some pictures of Michonne, and I'm working on a cross stitch and maybe put a picture there and of how far I am on that. Other than that, hopefully we'll get started working on the bus again and get finished, at least put a door on that building so that we know what we're going to do there, and then move on from there.
Leave my windows open so that I can hear the sound of people talking and the wind blowing in the trees. Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way. I'm gonna let the sun shine in the day. Must be filled with smoke, and I will try to fix what has been broken and take this weight off my shoulders, 'cause I know yesterday ain't coming back. I'm gonna let the past stay in the cold. I will listen to the ocean, let its unsaid words be spoken, and I'll let my mind be carried by the waves. Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts excitement starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way. I'm gonna let the sun shine in the day. I'm gonna let the past be filled with smoke, and I will try to fix what has been broken, and take this weight off my shoulders, 'cause I know yesterday ain't coming back.